Welcome in. We are going to be analyzing Donald Trump in a different way than I normally would. We're going to pull out line by line, point at them, talk about them, and then we'll synthesize it all together to see how this makes up Donald Trump. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Katie Lynn. I'm a certified analyst and I do teach human design as well. All right, let's just start with his type. He is a manifesting generator. You saw it highlighted on the screen already. What makes him a manifesting generator are these two channels, and the rest is just fun stuff. Okay, let's start with this part here. We have the channel of mating, design focused on reproduction. Now, yeah, that could flat out mean sexual, but it doesn't have to be sexual at all. It could be creating something new, starting something new. It's all about the tribe and defending the tribe. So a design focused on reproduction. We'll see down bottom that he has the third line and the sixth line. So if we talk about that, he's going to be bumping into things regarding that aspect. Trial and error, breaking bonds or not. Or be the role model of that. So what did we just say? Let's talk about it. Donald Trump has the channel of mating, a design focused on reproduction. He is here to birth something new, get that friction started, or to defend the tribe. All right, let's move up to this one here. This here, the 35 to 36, this is called the channel of transitoriness, a design of jack of all trades. And this is all about the experience. If it didn't turn out his way, he might blame it on you for it not turning out that way or the way you expected. But this gate 36 is the gate of crisis. And yeah, when you start something new, a person's kind of in a crisis because it's like, yo, I don't know what to do. How do I figure this out? And then the gate 35 is progress. So you figured it out, you progressed. So that's how you end up being the jack of all trades. That's how you end up being so transitory. All right. Now, let's talk about this again. You'll see that in Uranus and in the Sun, he has a third line. So he is just going to be bumping into things regarding this, trialing and erroring it, seeing the how stable this particular thing is that he's looking at. Now, this is about the collective. This is about the tribe. And we'll notice that both of these channels are both red, which means that they're on the left-hand side, which means that they're unconscious, meaning that he might not be so aware of these aspects of himself, but he is, nearing an old age. So looking back on his life, he might reflect back on these and, see this as himself, or instead of parts that are unconscious to him. All right, so when we're talking about Donald Trump, then if he's an instantaneous being, it's really going to hurt him because he needs to wait to get clarity in order to understand what's correct for his energy before he partakes in it. With this spleen being undefined, on top of the solar plexus being defined, once again, it's just very important that he's not this instantaneous being. So, although they're unconscious, he may recognize them about himself because, he's getting into that age. And that age, I mean, just old. So let's synthesize what we know all together so far. We have Donald Trump. He is a person who is here, who is not to be instantaneous because there's no truth in the now for him. So he is a person that knows what is correct for the tribe, and his energy will get clarity and he will respond to what is correct for him or not through his sacral. And because of the solar plexus being defined and the spleen being undefined, it is best that he is not an instantaneous being, that he makes decisions out of other people's auras. Let's move around this chart now. Let's talk about this channel here. This channel here is the channel of acceptance, a design of an organizational being. Okay. There are two gates here, 17 and 62. I know that one of them's opinions, but I forget what the 62 is. Preponderance of the small, the gate of details. All right, there we go. I just got my answers there. Paired with the gate of opinion. So people can have opinions and they can come to an acceptance that that is what it is. Now, these opinions, they could be wrong. They could be right, but it's an opinion. And once a person has an opinion, they're quite stuck on their opinion because that's what they know. Until we'll go down to until something else does show that this opinion can be changed or is able to change, and then you accept it. But yes, this is all about details, and it's all about your opinions about those details, and you accept it. And it could be changed, and then you accept it again. And then the obvious word there, organizational being. We don't know Donald Trump at the personal level. We know him at the business level. Is he an organized being? Does it mean that he's a part of an organization? So, all of these energies are attached. If we actually start where we were, going over here, not lifting up our pen to go over here, not lifting up our pen, we see the 11s there as well. So he has not only opinions, but he also has ideas. This one's also attached, the gate of caution. This one here is also attached, the gate of privacy. And this one here, the gate of the abysmal, the gate of perseverance, the abysmal. So those are also details to really consider when making this analysis about him, because this is really the defined what he puts out into the world. So he can jump in to the deep end without knowing what's there. And he also, if he doesn't take his time, he might jump into things that aren't correct for him. because he actually does have the capability of giving too much. But he has caution. So it kind of evens itself out. Anyhow, we still have this last channel to talk about. This is, if we're talking about the business aspect of it, the channel of money, a design of a materialist. Once again, business aspect of it, the manager. So Donald Trump being the manager. So the fifth line and the first line we see in the North Node in Uranus. We can see that, people have high expectations of him. People rest their expectations on his shoulders, and the collective, are going to watch him as he just investigates. Now, what's interesting about this line is that Trump is going to be just as shocked as you are with what came out of his mouth as he is, because it's really all about what's in it for me, this channel. So the thing is, it's about what's in it for me, but ultimately what's in it for me, because it will ultimately help the tribe. So he's a person who can be the manager, who has opinions about whatever opinions he has or ideas. It's not meaning that they're correct, nor does that mean they're false. He's going to be a jack of all trades, a person who knows many things, master of none. As he defends his tribe, there is no individual energy that actually makes up this individual as a channel. He's all about the tribe. He's all about the collective. Another unique thing that we can see about all of his channels, let's move to this one and this one, the last two that we talked about. You'll notice that it's half black, half red, meaning half of it's unconscious, which, if we use math, positive times a negative still makes it a negative. That's what happens here. This means that it's still unconscious. So all of his chart is unconscious to him. He is a manifesting generator who is running around acting as if he is a reflector on the conscious level and a reflector on the unconscious level. So Donald Trump, we talked about who he is as a person in a generic way based on his channels here. But what can we say about the not self aspect of who he is? Well, let's talk about these two centers. What is a not self? A not self is just going against the flow, trying to pre-plan everything, trying to get your brain in the 1, 2, 3 steps of what you need to do and going against the grain of life. Yeah. So that's the not self, not listening to his own energy. So if we see the not self aspect of, and oh my gosh, it says it right on the screen. Not self theme is that he will always be in a hurry to be free of the pressure because it's a pressure center. So am I in a hurry to get things done so I can be free of the pressure? Only to realize that pressure is still there because the to-do list never really gets done. Now, the thing is that outsiders looking in could see this as a person who is a procrastinator, or someone who's lazy. But I don't think a person with an undefined root is that at all. They are just getting the correct pressure or fuel to be able to understand when the proper timing is for you. So don't let people pressure you into timing. You know the proper timing into growing your environment, growing what needs to be, what needs growth around you. Now, there's another one on the top of the head here. This is also a pressure center, and it's undefined. So Donald Trump is in a pressure center. You might see him running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So let's see what the sentence here says. Thinking about things that doesn't matter. Am I trying to answer everybody else's questions? So this is trying to be inspirational, trying to be inspired. So, I mean, if we look in news, we can see where he has tried to be inspirational and totally failed, and he ended up frustrated. We ended up frustrated. So, he just might be answering questions that don't matter, i.e. his TikTok. That really doesn't matter to a president. It shouldn't anyways, but it does. But yeah, it says it right there. It's all about inspiration, mental pressure, doubt, confusion, questions. So he has a full variety of the lessons to be learned within this head center. He might see himself frustrated a lot with his inspirational self, or the questions that are imposed on him in life when he says, "Oh, I know," when he might not. So moving over here to the splenic center, this is all about this basic primal behavior, safety, security, well-being. So he has it undefined. When a person has it undefined, it doesn't mean that they have an unwell experience in life. It's just that if they are not listening to their energy correctly, they might be holding on to people, places, things, or experiences longer than they should, that are not serving them anymore, that are negative for them. So, or the complete opposite. Oh, fuck y'all. I don't need you anymore. I got this on my own. So those are not self-expressions. Let's see what the little thing says here. It's the natural fears, your well-being, immune system, intuition, instincts, survival, not self-theme, holding on to what isn't good for you. Not self-question, am I holding on what isn't good for me? I mean, a lot of people do, because it's scary to let go of things. That means things change. All right, so this last one here in the center, combined with this channel here and this here, if he walks into a place and he's like, no, not for me, he needs to listen. Otherwise, he's going to be having the wrong experiences with the wrong people, going in the wrong direction in life. So he really needs to listen to this. He's going to be a person who picks up an item, might use it for 3 days and moves on to the next one because he just wants to have the experience in it. People might shame him for picking up things for just a moment and then dropping them and saying, "Why can't you just finish something?" Never listen to them, because it's correct for you to experience all varieties of love and direction and identity in life. And if that's experienced through trying things for a certain moment and not finishing them, then great. Do it. What it says here, it's about identity, love, and direction. It's not necessarily about like partnership love. It can be, but it's about love of self, the love of humanity, the love of your body, etc. So people could be fixating on finding love and direction or identity. So like, I'm going to wear all brand name stuff and prove where I know I'm going in life. I know who I am. Am I looking for direction in love? So there could have been instances throughout Trump's life where he could have been trying to be an inspirational being while he was trying to find direction in life, while holding on what's not good for him as he tried to grow his environment. Now, let's look at this from a different perspective. The mind likes to think that what's wrong with us is the white parts in the chart, but there's nothing wrong with the white pieces in our chart. You just have to know how to use your strategy and authority. to be able to make correct decisions. So if Trump is living out his not self life, he's going to be making a lot of money on making instantaneous decisions based on growth and being inspirational about direction or identity or love. Or how to answer questions. So yeah, that's his not self aspect. So let's go back to who he is. Donald Trump is a person who is here to respond to life and get clarity on the decisions that he's about to make, because what he says he should have really, really listened to and then get that clarity off of that. He is a person who is here to defend the tribe based on what he is here to start that is new, because he's here to have those experiences as that jack of all trades, as he just accepts those ideas and opinions that come by. And he is a great person to be in the place of the manager, because whatever he does for himself, it is ultimately what is best for the tribe. He is a person that is going to bump into life a lot and investigate a lot and be seen. And the best way for him to make decisions is just to give it time and be patient with himself. When he's not patient with himself, that's when he starts to see those frustrations. All right. So I want to note that we barely touched the surface of who Donald Trump is. We didn't even go into the sun, moons. Oh, there's sun, earth, moons. And we didn't go into the notes. But yeah, his network is going to be where he is successful. And in order for him to, we could just go on and on and on. So we're just going to cut it off there. And I just want to see what you have to say about this. Do you resonate with anything that I said? What do you feel about Donald Trump and his presidency? I don't know anything about his past. I just know that he was on a show once and he was president. So yes, thank you so much for listening.